Welcome to this week's edition of Fun Activities in 5, where we take an activity that maybe you've seen and maybe you haven't, and we go over how I do it in my classroom so that you have something new to try this week. This week we are looking at stoplight reading. I am positive I am not the first person that has ever done this. I've been doing this in my classroom since about 2019, and it's just a really good kind of alternative to something like annotations that gives students voice and choice to own their learning, and something that is very beneficial for the teacher when you are getting ready to go over a text. To do a stoplight reading, what you need is some type of text for your students to read. It does need to be printed out. You could, I guess, do it on the computer. In my experience, students don't navigate it well digitally. I did do it digitally during COVID, and it's just lots of things to use to make it work digitally. And then your students need 3 different writing utensil colors. I personally use green, yellow, and pink highlighters, which is why I've always called it a stoplight reading, but you could use just 3 different colors. You could have them underlined with colored pencils. You could have them box things and mark it with a symbol. We have alternatives if you don't have highlighters. In my classroom, I have a set of highlighters for that class. And if I run out, or if there are more kids or whatever, I just tell them to pick 3 different colors and make a key at the top. So the key is green is go, words that students 100% understand. They know what they mean. They know how they're used. They've seen that word before. They feel 100% confident with it. I tell students, green is if I give you a test, you are willing to put $1,000 down to say you're going to make 100 on what that word means. Yellow is words that students are confident on, but not 100%. They feel like they can understand what that word means based on context. It may be a cognate. Maybe they have background knowledge. Maybe the word is they know it's a place because it's capitalized, but they don't know what that place is. But they reasonably understand something about the word. They're just not positive. So I tell my students, if I give you a test, you would really question putting that $1,000 down, because like you have an idea, but you're not positive, but you're more confident than not. Pink are going to be words that are stop. Stop are going to be words that students don't understand. They can't figure them out from context. They don't think they're a cognate, or maybe they don't have the background knowledge to support it being a cognate. They wouldn't have a guess. That I were to say, I'll give you $1,000 right now if you can tell me what that word means, and they would be like, I no idea. So when you are doing a stoplight reading, I give my students about 15 minutes at first, depending on how long the text is, just to go through and do the colors. I tell my students to do 1 color at a time and to start with the color green, because if they know the word, they're going to know it the first time they see it. They do need to highlight every single word on the page. It's going to look something like this by the time they're done. Lots of color everywhere on everything that's on the page. Then I have them go through and do yellow, and then I have them go through and say, if there are words that are still left after you do yellow, those words are pink. Now, part of the reason I love doing this activity is because it is a very good visual demonstration of the 90% plus, 95% plus understanding of something for it to be comprehensible. On my computer, I do a word count to see how many total words are in the text. And then I tell students, hey, there were 230 words in this text. So if you have 20, 25 pink words or less, that means this text was comprehensible for you. If you have 80 words that are pink, then that means we need to figure out where the disconnect is, because this text was not comprehensible for you, and we need to work on building some vocab or whatever. When I'm walking around, I am writing down the words that students are marking pink. Most of the time, about 80% of them I can predict, and it's just a handful that I'm writing down. I take a blank reading and I actually just mark them on that paper as I walk around so that I know where they are in the text. Then once students have finished, we do go over the pink words. I write them all up on the board. If I have time, I might type them on a slide, and we go around the room. Who knows what book is? Oh, me, cool, okay, we write it down. Who knows what light is? Oh, okay, me, I write it down. Because I want students to be able to say, hey, I knew that, like I felt good about it. And to be able to help their peers in that way, and not just me telling kids what things are, but for students to see like, hey, I may have had 20 words, but I knew one of the pink ones that somebody else didn't know. It's a really good confidence builder. I do have a blog on Stoplight Reading from 2019 or 2020 when I was first using it in my classroom. I will link that in the comments. You can check it out. It's a very good last minute throw together activity, also a good sub plan, and also works at any level. If you've tried it, I would love to know how it goes. If you haven't, I hope you do give it a try, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.